things off, I have Krista from ShipBob, who is going to be speaking today. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Krista up on stage.
Hey, Carly.
Hey, Krista, give me 1 second so I can go ahead and give you the presenter. I'm going to stop sharing. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Go ahead. Feel free to share your screen and kick things off.
Okay, great. Let me just pull up my presentation here.
And then to kick things off in the chat, just to make sure I know everyone knows how to use the chat functionality again, just drop in where you are tuning in from. I love to always see, I see we have some Nashville, some Florida, Kansas City. I always love when we get international brands as on here as well. Let's see if we have anyone international. Ooh, we have Spain. Amazing. Cool. Well, I will pass it off to you, Krista, and go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Carly. I'm happy to be kicking things off here. So as she mentioned, I am the partner manager for technology partners here at ShipBob, and I'm excited to be here. So we'll get started. For those of you who are not familiar, what is ShipBob? ShipBob is a global fulfillment company. So we fulfill direct-to-consumer orders for direct-to-consumer brands. So we have over 30 global fulfillment centers, about 25 in the US and then internationally as well. We'll integrate with that direct-to-consumer store for those orders. We also offer B2B fulfillment, retail drop shipping, customization, so custom packaging, gift notes, etc., which we'll touch on. 100% coverage for 2-day shipping, and we are the first carbon neutral fulfillment service. So we'll touch on that as well. But just getting started, wanted to kind of go over what we're seeing as far as customer expectations right now. We know that they keep evolving, but in 2022, the opportunity to build trust and transparency through delivery-related communications will kind of be key to having that successful customer experience. So as you can see here from these stats, most, if not all, customers are really caring about upfront shipping costs, estimated order arrival dates, some sort of sustainable packaging, and then free shipping, or if not, super cheap shipping. So from there, we'll touch on what good guidelines will be to overcome these expectation gaps. We'll start with your fulfillment network. So why building and having a resilient and flexible supply chain can actually increase, help the customer experience, and kind of what happens if we don't have that. A wider channel and regional presence. So we'll touch on omnichannel fulfillment, selling on more than one channel. We'll touch on the shopper experience as well. So the unboxing experience, kind of what you can do in the physical world to really drive home that good experience once the customer receives that delivery. And then lastly, we'll touch on scalable investments in sustainability. So we know that fulfillment and logistics have been a big part of these issues in the past. So we'll touch on different ways that we can kind of change that narrative. So starting off with your fulfillment network, redistributing your inventory to locations closer to your customers reduces costs, increases resilience against regional supply chain snags. So if you think about like having inventory in one location, maybe it's on the West Coast, and getting those orders to even the middle of the country or the East Coast, it's either going to take a long time or it's going to be expensive to meet those expectations of fast shipping. So what we can do here at ShipBob is kind of take the order data, see where your customer base sit, and then place inventory closer to your customers. So there's a lot of benefits to this, but some of the main ones being improving inventory availability. So of course, if you have more locations, you're going to have more inventory available. You'll be able to deliver on the fast shipping expectations, again, because your inventory is closer to those customers already, which will decrease shipping costs as well, right? Because you're shipping in shorter distance, so the prices for shipping will go down. Will definitely help build resilience against any supply chain issues we've seen in the past few years. Like this is a huge issue with fulfillment right now, is just getting that inventory. So having it more available will definitely be helpful. And then it will lower transport related emissions and also your carbon footprint. So being able to have those inventory closer to customers, again, is going to reduce that shipping time and the transmission as well. From there, just wanted to touch on digitizing your warehouse management and how that can help. It's really critical to scaling your brand using data and technology to make smarter inventory management decisions. So it just allows brands to spend less time on operations and expand to new channels or focus on other parts of the business. So having this warehouse management software where you can see all your inventory in one place, you'll have those real-time updates for global fulfillment. So across any sales channel, you'll have all those updates there. Accurate inventory levels across all warehouse locations. So you'll be able to see based on each specific location exactly what you have available. That will help with planning. You'll have dynamic connections to local carriers. And then of course, automation between our different integrations all into one software. So that will just help streamline things overall and make your life a lot easier. Increasing awareness with product badging. So we know that fast shipping is a top concern for customers these days. So being able to really show that shipping promise right on the product page is going to convert customers. It's going to build trust. So people know what to expect when they're going to check out. There's no surprises in the cart when they get there. Maybe it'll say like, hey, you won't get this for 2 weeks. Customers say estimated delivery times are the top thing they look for before purchasing. So they want to know that from the start. This is also going to reduce cart abandonment. So there's no surprises when they go to checkout, which will lead to increased conversions and also average order value too. A lot of the times when customers are seeing quick shipping, maybe they'll add a few things to their cart. I know I'm guilty of that myself. A few times in the past. And then of course encourages repeat purchases. So this will just overall provide a good customer experience from the beginning, and people know what to expect when they come to your site, so they'll return and you'll get those good returning customers. Building relationships through customer support. So we all know customer support is very important when it comes to the customer experience. A strong and responsive customer service team should really sit at the heart of the post-purchase experience. So being able to provide support at every step of the delivery experience, letting customers know exactly where their order is at any time with data-driven customer support. For example, you can see here the ShipBob data that's available in Gorgeous. Gorgeous is our customer support partner. They're great. We have an integration with them. And so they're able to pull all this data when people are asking about where is my order and just provide way more information than the traditional tracking number. Really with the post-purchase process, you just want to over communicate and really let customers know exactly what's going on with their order before they even come to you. So take a proactive approach. Benefits include automated alerts for orders in exception or on hold. So just letting the customer know if there's something wrong with the order right away. Troubleshoot customer tickets related to shipping with deeper where is my order tickets. We know that's the #1 question we get asked. So really just, again, that proactive approach of letting them know before they come ask. And then, of course, just enabling the support team to take action with any active orders, things that need to be done before shipping out an order. And encouraging retention with an unforgettable last mile. So we want to be able to delight shoppers with a memorable unboxing experience. 40% of shoppers will share a product image on social if it comes in branded packaging. I know this is all over my Instagram, TikTok. I see it every day of influencers or even just normal people sharing exactly what they got from the brand because of how it's packaged. So this can be gift notes or loyalty-focused inserts, branded packaging, stickers, tissue paper, kitted or bundled products, and then custom subscription options. So really anything you can do to add that personal touch is really going to drive home that full customer experience. And lastly, but definitely very important, is finding ways to reduce your carbon footprint. So sustainable practices have been proven to appeal to customers. They help customers maintain more of an emotional relationship with brands, which has been shown to result in a 306% higher lifetime value. So not only are you doing the right thing for the planet, you're doing your part, you're also increasing that lifetime value immensely as well. And this is something that customers are just starting to demand. They want to see that brands have a mission and a purpose. And so a few different ways that you can do so: offsetting that carbon emissions, making packaging recyclable, compostable, or reusable, using AI to make packaging decisions, which we do here at ShipBob, making sure you're not over packaging or using a package that's too big. And then, of course, distributing that inventory closer to customers is going to just overall reduce that carbon footprint too. So those are the tips that we have here at ShipBob to create a successful customer experience. And if you have any questions, I know Katie is in the chat, but this is my email as well, so feel free to reach out there too.
Awesome job, Krista. I think I'm biased because I also work at ShipBob and nerd out about shipping and logistics. But just perusing the chat, I think we actually had a couple questions for you. So one of them being, do we ship CBD? We do. So that's actually become like a big part of our business lately. So we're happy to entertain those clients. Awesome. And then I got another one from Brian that says, do your clients send messaging to their customers about ShipBob's capabilities in their marketing messaging? To our customer, do your clients send messaging to our customers about? So I can help take a yeah, so we can. Go ahead, Krista. Yeah, I'm just a little confused if it's about like gift notes, like to the customer, you think? Yeah. So yeah, we're happy to do custom gift notes, marketing inserts, whatever it is. We know that that's super important for brands right now, just having that personal touch. So we're happy to do so. Awesome. And then I saw a question from Stephanie about, do you guys integrate with Netsuite? So I can take that one just because. Go ahead, Krista. We don't directly integrate with Netsuite, but we do have a few workarounds, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I was going to say I manage our partnerships with Netsuite. So happy to give clarity to that. Is we don't integrate with Netsuite, but we can help you integrate ShipBob into Netsuite, and Krista will share her email. So if you have any questions, just ping her on that. But we have a lot of merchants using ShipBob plus Netsuite. And then one last question. Sorry, Krista, one last question. I think there's a lag on my end, so I'm sorry if I'm over speaking or over talking. Yeah, last question I have is, how easy is it to start using more of your warehouses to distribute inventory closer to our customers, and where do I begin? Yeah, so it's very easy. What we'll do is take that data, the order history data, see what zip codes you guys are shipping to most often. And then we'll place inventory in those different locations. If you're already with ShipBob, it's super easy to just expand. If you're not already with ShipBob, it takes about as long as you take to send the inventory in. So super quick setup. And yeah. Awesome. And then I just see a bunch popping up. So if Krista, if you wouldn't mind sharing your email, I know we got to keep the ball rolling here. We're on a tight schedule, but feel free to share your email. Krista will share her email with you. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and send her a note and she can get back to you right away. Yep, I just put that in there. So feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. And thanks for having me. Yeah, awesome, Krista. Well, thank you so much again. I'm going to go ahead and we will turn your presenter mode off. Awesome. So next up, I have Casey from Order Groove. Casey is a strategic client director of Order Groove with more than 15 years of experience. Casey is passionate about helping brands develop and execute world-class customer experience. Hey, Casey, how's it going?
Hey, Carly, very good.
Awesome.
Very good.
Well,
all right, let me share my screen here.
Perfect. And just to kick things off, while
Excited.
Casey's getting set up is feel free to drop your favorite subscription brand in the chat.
All right. Hopefully you all can see that. So first of all, thank you all for having me. Thank you, ShipBob, for hosting. Thanks to the rest of the speakers for joining us today. As mentioned, my name is Casey Berg. I'm the Director of Customer Success at Order Groove, a full end-to-end subscription platform. And today I'm going to talk to you about how subscriptions fit into omni-channel strategies and give you some tips for optimizing the subscription experience in an omni-channel environment. So I know we're pressed on time, so I'm just going to jump right into it here. Really, I'm going to talk about two main topics: how subscriptions fit into omni-channel strategies, and then how to make subscriptions work for omni-channel. That second section there is the section with the tips in it. So first, how do subscriptions fit into omni-channel? I thought it best to start just giving you some insight into how Order Group defines omni-channel. So we define it as selling products in both the physical retail space as well as an online storefront. Within that, there's a unified shopping experience across the two channels or multi-channel. You know, if you do want to move into social or things like that, just a unified shopping experience across all of the channels. And then really being customer obsessed. You want to meet the customer wherever they want to shop. That's a true omni-channel experience in Order Group's view, and we strive to help clients build experiences that allow you to do that and offer subscriptions to your clients, your customers, wherever they're going to shop. So in terms of trends in omnichannel plus subscriptions, we're seeing something that I very creatively call the great convergence. What that means really is that we see retailers launching sophisticated online experiences, and that includes subscriptions as well as other experiences. You know, think of things like a try-on feature on Warby Parker, or a palette chooser from your favorite beauty or skincare brand. Folks like PetSmart, Kind, etc. Pete's are doing things like this. On the other side of the fence, you have the digitally native brands, and they're really teaming up with retailers to place their products in physical stores. This is Dollar Shave Club, 12 years ago, whatever it was when Dollar Shave Club started, it was D2C only. Now you can find them in Walmart. Quip, same thing. Direct to consumer oral care now available in Target. Why is this important to folks like Dollar Shave Club and Quip? Is they really want the access to that large customer base that comes with physical retail. There's lots of statistics out there on the penetration of e-commerce in terms of its representation of the total value of retail. And I'm not going to argue which one's correct, but I think it's fair to say that it's less than 20%. So 80% of the market is out there shopping in stores, and these brands want access to that. While the retailers, of course, they want unique products, exclusive products, sexy products that customers want to come in and purchase in their stores. And I think Krista mentioned, whenever you're in a Target, you tend to buy other stuff. Like I can't leave Target with just one product. I tend to fill a cart. So why is this happening? I mentioned this already, what I was talking about. Retailers want those shoppers in the store. The attachment is critically important, especially in an environment of rising costs of acquisition. And in-store represents that significant growth opportunity for digitally native brands who may have a great footprint online and a strong share of market in the digital space, but that store represents a usually much larger opportunity for them to continue to grow their brand. So how do subscriptions fit in? I mentioned the cost of acquisition, so I'll start there. We've seen a significant rise in the cost of acquisition, across channels, and subscriptions are a great way to increase customer lifetime value to therefore offset those acquisition costs. Merchants of all shapes and sizes are really turning to subscriptions. There's also been changes to privacy laws and just rising competition for customer acquisition, of course. And the stat that we like to share with customers is that CACs have risen as much as 60%. That's a big deal for a lot of our clients. But subscriptions are a huge opportunity. Almost $500 billion is the expected value of e-com subscriptions by 2025, at least by one source. So just a massive and growing opportunity for both retailers and brands. So putting it all together, right? We see this this trend of convergence as something that's mutually beneficial. The omni-channel strategies, really help both brands growing the prominence of these direct-to-consumer brands, but also developing really interesting shopping experiences for the brick and mortar retailers. We see this as becoming more and more important in the coming years as retail and digital strategies continue to converge. This is something that is not necessarily new, but we feel is accelerating pretty significantly, especially with the winners. The digitally native brands as they move into physical retail, they're going to be the winners in the space that they're selling in, and so we expect this trend to continue to accelerate. All right, so moving to some tips here. How can you make subscriptions work in an omni-channel, whether you're a retailer, or whether you're a brand, or whether you're already selling as a D2C brand in an omni-channel or in a brick and mortar space. First, let me just start with what Order Groove believes in. We believe that from enrollment to repeat purchases, that the subscriber experience should be accessible, frictionless, and effortless. This is important because you should see a theme throughout I think it's 9 tips that I'm going to provide here. That's really the driving force behind all of them. So I always like to touch on that first. So tip number 1, this is for everybody, whether you're brick and mortar or D2C, make subscriptions a part of your website's nav structure. Telling customers about this is about subscriptions, and making subscriptions easy to find is critical, right? You need to provide information to customers, and you need to provide a way for them to find the subscriptions when they're looking for them. One of the things that we recommend is a dedicated subscription landing page that outlines the value proposition of subscriptions and usually has an FAQ that helps customers understand what they're getting in exchange for their commitment. Tip number 2, this one's really aimed at the D2C folks. Find a partner with a physical footprint. And really this is about building a list of potential partners based on your customer data, your beliefs as a brand, but not all partnerships are created equal. So putting in the effort to determine, who the right partner for you, if you're considering moving into a physical footprint, is extremely critical, so that, again, you're meeting your customers where they shop. If they don't shop at Target, you shouldn't consider Target. You really need to understand that customers and choose your partner list, or build your partner list in a very thoughtful way. Number 3, start with BOPUS. This is really aimed at the retailers out there. So, BOPUS is an excellent way to test consumer appetite for subscription, while also just capturing that recurring lifetime value from customers. The beauty of BOPUS is it, generally speaking, in Order Groove's world anyways, leverages your existing infrastructure. The pipes that have already been built to service BOPUS, if you're a retailer with a BOPUS offering. And Shopify clearly serves the D2C crowd out there. Their research has found that 59% of consumers are interested in BOPUS. So it's something that's on consumers' minds. It's something they're thinking about. And we have customers who leverage this. A great example is Tractor Supply Company. Go to Tractor Supply Company, choose to subscribe to your pet food via subscription. You can pick it up in store, and you can pick up everything you need, treats and toys and any other products that Tractor Supply offers, when you stop at the store. Again, that attachment is really, really powerful. Number 4, target customers who have purchased multiple products, So again, this one's aimed at everybody. It's a marketing tip. You have data. There's a lot of great data within your systems. Leverage it, right? So one of the kind of basic best practices that we suggest to our customers is analyze that data, understand who's purchasing the same products multiple times in, say, the last 6 or 12 months, and target those people. The successful subscription programs do offer some form of value to customers. So introduce the customer to that value. If they're products that they're going to be purchasing anyways, we want to take that good customers purchasing 2-3 times a year from you and turn them into a great customer, someone who's purchasing 5-6 times a year, and again, driving that lifetime value up. Number 5, make sign up frictionless. Again, this is the theme kind of throughout here. It's for everybody, but develop a script. If you're selling subscriptions in a physical retail environment, provide a script. Let your associates know what they should be talking to customers about, and provide them training on objection handling. Most common objections that we hear are, I want to be in control. Order Group's platform offers complete control over your subscriptions anytime from any place via the client website, the retailer's website. Second most popular one we hear is, I like to shop around for the best deal. Well, again, subscriptions are all about positioning the value so that the customer is receiving the best deal that they can be. It should be the best way for a customer to purchase from you at any given time. And I like variety is the last prominent one we hear. And Order Group offers a lot of technology that allows customers to build a basket and a group of subscriptions around exactly what they want, or add products as one-time purchases and take advantage of usually the discount structure being offered on the subscription program. Additionally, I recommend offer takeaways with a QR code or other technology that allows you to link customers back to their subscription landing page, so you can really draw those two channels together. 6, test pop-ups. Again, aimed at the D2C folks here, but evaluated an in-store consumer demand through a pop-up. It's a really, really easy way. Well, I shouldn't say easy. It's a very powerful way to test the demand for your services in a brick and mortar space. Warby Parker and Allbirds, I think, are the two most, maybe not the most prominent examples, but very prominent examples of folks who've done this. Started with pop-ups, took that learning and used it to develop a brick and mortar footprint that, I'd say by all accounts has been very successful. Next is offering starter kits. Again, Quip as an example here, great way to introduce a customer in a physical retail space. If you're a direct-to-consumer brand, a great way to introduce customers to your product, kind of all in one package. And usually the folks who do this successfully offer a promotion for subscribing. So you're looking to capture those customers on the back end. They've got the toothbrush. They can go to the site and get a promotion to subscribe to the brush heads directly via your site. Don't be shy. Communicate with your customers. This is for everybody, right? Proactively reach out to your subscribers through email and SMS. Tell them about what's going on. It should go without saying, but I find that I do have to say it. You want to be shouting from the rooftop about your subscription program. What it offers, where the customers can interact with it, and really the value that it's going to create in customers' lives. And then last, but certainly not least, enhance your subscriber portal. Again, subscription programs that are successful create control for the customers, so that the customer is in complete control over their experience. So make it easy for them to swap products and say from one flavor to a next or one shade to another, as well as manage and control the ship dates and skipping orders. It's super critical to make sure that you have happy customers that stay with you for a long time. All right, and then I think Q&A from me.
Awesome, Casey. Thank you so much for that. You killed it. I am a huge subscription advocate. I think my life runs smoothly because I use so many subscriptions. But we'll open it up to one quick question just because we have a minute. Stephanie said, do you see this helping a B2B with no storefront or just e-com presence?
Great question. So it's not as prominent B2B as I would like it to be. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the B2B space. I think it is absolutely beneficial. I just think it's in kind of early stages. I have a client who I will not name, but we've been talking to. They have of course, a consumer, large consumer business, but also a large B2B business in the professional services space. So, think home improvement, things of that nature, handyman. And, really, I think any product can be subscribable. And that's what we're talking, I'm talking to them about constantly. It doesn't have to be that consumable product, the moisturizer that you use on your face every day. That's very consumable to, someone like you and I. But if you're a plumber, then, some of those hard goods that, you and I wouldn't think about as a consumable product, they want to have 10 of those in their truck every week. And so there is a massive opportunity for the business to business folks out there looking to, offer convenience and value to their customers. I just think we're in the exciting early days of that and kind of, shifting the way we think about subscriptions and focusing more on that segment of the retail industry, versus what we're focused on now. Hopefully that
Awesome.
answered the question.
And if it didn't, feel free to drop your email, Casey, in the chat. And just again, thank you very much. Awesome. So next up, we are moving right along. We have Mark from Tenuity. Mark is a specialist within the Marketplace Strategic Services team and works closely with several retail media partners such as Walmart, Instacart to implement new products and program initiatives. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Carly, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Feel free to go ahead and share your screen and kick things off for us.
Perfect. Let me do that right now.
Awesome. And then to kick things off in the chat, we'd just love to see what platforms everyone is selling on, whether that be Shopify or Amazon. Feel free to drop it in the chat.
All righty, let's kick this off. Nice to meet you, everybody, and thank you, Casey and Carly. My name is Mark Gray, and I'm a specialist within the Strategic Marketplace Services team at Tenuity. I'm looking forward to talking regarding the retail media landscape and how to navigate and position your brand for success. I'll start with a quick overview about Tenuity. We're the largest independent performance marketing firm across a triopoly of Google, Facebook, Amazon, as well as numerous other channels and service lines. This has led us to manage over $3 billion in media for our clients annually. On top of that, we have a #1 award-winning culture and have been voted one of Ad Age's best places to work for the past 3 years and running. And we have been growing rapidly by design with over 1,000 employees, thanks to the continued success that we drive for our clients. But we're not stopping there. We have 15 different service lines that allow us to accelerate performance for brands across every touch point your consumer cares about within the digital marketing ecosystem. Now let's kick things off with the e-commerce industry as a whole and the sizable impact that retail media in particular is having on traditional ad dollars. Historically, ad budgets were heavily prioritized towards both traditional opportunities such as linear TV or one of the only few major search players that dominated the industry. We're now noticing a shift in trends as more and more retail media offerings are established and ad dollars are quickly shifting away from these historical opportunities and into the budgets of retail media solutions. There are a handful of reasons for this transition, but it primarily boils down to two main areas of focus. The first being the depreciation of third-party cookies, and the second being a shift in consumer purchasing habits. When it comes to the depreciation of third-party cookies, sellers no longer have access to the consumer purchase path, conversion insights, and corresponding targeting and ad opportunities that historical 3P cookies-based solutions could provide. So where do sellers go now that they can no longer leverage this data? To the retailers and their corresponding retail media offerings that actually own the first-party data. Since 1P data is now the gold standard, sellers and agencies alike understand the need for leveraging this data at scale, which is why you are seeing more and more retail media opportunities arrive. Now, in addition to the depreciation of 3P cookies, we're also seeing a shift in omnichannel and consumer purchasing habits. This means more and more consumers are leveraging a hybrid approach to shopping that starts online and ends in store. Retail media allows you to better understand the customer journey at all points of the purchase funnel, including giving visibility into online ad performance that will affect offline purchases, thus closing the loop on your holistic ad strategy. And this is a trend I don't see slowing down anytime soon. We are also seeing retail media ad spend continue to grow and also at a rapid pace. And let's take a look. After over 50% growth during the peak years of COVID, 2020 and 2021, we continually to see strong projections out of 2022 and beyond. Now, when looking at 2022 and 2023, retail media is slated to post gains of over 31% and 26% year over year, respectively. And again, that's already factoring in the over 50% year over year in 2020 and 2021. In summary, retail media ad budgets are rapidly expanding and so are the advertising opportunities. With the aforementioned expansion of retail media budgets, it is no surprise that retailers want to get their piece of the pie, which is why we are seeing retailers establish retail media networks rapidly over the last few years. I've been around to see the rise in offerings, particularly from platforms such as Walmart and Instacart, but also the emergence of newer retail media networks like GoPuff, Best Buy, and Home Depot. All of these retailers are looking to have their slice of the pie. This is evident by the fact that the king of retail media, Amazon, actually declined in market share of more than 3% of total US retail e-commerce sales year over year in 2022, according to eMarketer. Now, it goes without saying that brands have so many options on where they want to allocate their retail media dollars. Everyone has a retail media network nowadays, and many have different pricing options, ad types, attribution windows, and overall channel sophistication. One thing is for certain, retailers have invested and will continue to invest in their retail media networks for the foreseeable future. Now, with all of these options, let's get into some basic clarifying questions that will help determine your ideal budget mix. For starters, what is your advertising intent? Now, this is most likely going to be the most important question because it can dictate where you place your priorities. For example, if you have a JBP or business agreement with Walmart for a certain dollar amount, you may need to spend that money on Walmart. However, if you're a new brand looking to drive sales and brand awareness across multiple retailers but have minimal budgets, Instacart may be your best bet, given that you get ample retail exposure from one centralized budget and ad consoles. The next question you should ask is, what are your advertising KPI goals? Why? And what does success look like to you? This is extremely important because one size does not fit all when it comes to your goals. Another crucial component is your budget. Is it capped? Is it open? Can you scale with performance? All of these things matter when establishing your strategy as they dictate your advertising options and how you will plan strategy out of the gate. Another factor to consider is the growing popularity of omnichannel consumers and your corresponding product availability. When you have a channel like Walmart that took 1 out of 4 of click and collect dollars in 2021, it is essential to understand what your in-store product availability looks like on the platform in order to better understand how much of a piece of the pie they'll receive. Lastly, another very important piece of the puzzle is the client/brand side channel prioritization. At times, there may be factors outside of your purview that greatly impact your channel allocation, including buyer relationships, channel commitments, leadership priorities, new product launches, or so on. Because of this, it's important to understand that these types of priorities and influencing factors to put the final pieces of the allocation puzzle together. Now that you have a better understanding of the questions to ask when planning for budget allocations, let's take a look at how we structure our efforts for success once you choose your retail media opportunity. Now, when it comes to channel-specific selling and advertising, it is crucial that you structure your efforts in a way that allows advertising to fuel relevancy and reach while ensuring foundational elements are maximized for performance and conversions. This starts with operational soundness, plain and simple. Despite what you are doing with advertising, you will not see the desired performance if your item setup and foundational elements are not optimized to drive organic conversions. This includes elements such as your listing content, inventory availability, competitive pricing, and specifically for 3P sellers, fulfillment operations, customer support, and post-order actions. Now, once all of your foundational elements are in the right place, we then want to layer in search advertising to help drive product and brand performance. Given that most search efforts are served against keyword terms or associated product data, these ad efforts are aimed at digital, mid to lower funnel, purchase-ready buyers. Your ads serve on the SERP and item pages where conversions are most likely to take place, which is why these ad units are crucial to help scale performance. Now that your operational and search efforts are dialed in, it's time to leverage display advertising to promote brand awareness and improve competitive market share. Display ad units are ideal for messaging and storytelling, so we leverage these ad units to target consumers on all areas of the funnel. The early mover advantage is most definitely a factor when analyzing these channels' opportunities. What new opportunities do they have? How can you integrate your data with theirs to better serve your efforts? And where do you see the channel going? All retail media networks are at different degrees of sophistication with varying advertising options. And it's crucial to understand how all these channels are leveraging innovation in order to stand out. We've seen just in the past few years the evolution of the retail media landscape. This will not only continue, but the increased complexity of these retail media networks will increase exponentially. It is more than just advertising. It is about brand building. It is about storytelling. It is about increasing your organic and sponsored share of voice on multiple platforms in order to drive long-term growth. And it takes an exceptional team and a calculated strategy in order to be successful on all of these retail media platforms. And this is where Tenuity steps in. Our team has taken brands of all sizes, from SMBs to enterprise level accounts, and have established a long-term presence on these advertising platforms with exceptional results. Our team is able to provide clients exceptional results because we are a services first agency supported by our proprietary API integrated retail media platform, MobiusX. Our speed to market focuses on providing automation that improves ROI separate from our technology, which separates our technology from the rest of the market. No one person can juggle all the complexities of the different retail media platforms while ensuring both operational and advertising success. And this is where Tenuity steps in. All righty. And thank you all so much for listening. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn using the QR code, and I'll open up the floor to any questions.
Awesome. So to keep things rolling, Mark, if you can just go ahead and drop your email in the chat, just because we're running short on time and just to keep things moving. But go ahead, share your email in the chat. And then if anyone has any questions for Mark, reach out to him directly. Cool. Thank you so much, Mark.
Great. Thank you all. Thank you.
Awesome. So next up, we have Michelle from Yapo, who is a senior product manager at Yapo, where she leads the on-site shopper experience with ratings and reviews. Hello, Michelle. How's it going?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Thanks for
How are
joining us
you?
today. Awesome.
Thanks
Well,
for
go
having
ahead
me.
and share your screen and feel free to kick things off.
Awesome. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you're good to go.
Awesome. Great. So hi, everyone. It's so great to be with all of you here today. Thanks for having me here. And thanks so much to the previous speakers for such insightful content. My name, as Carly mentioned, is Michelle Mueller, and I'm a senior product manager leading the storefront experience for user-generated content at Yapo. That means I'm focused on empowering brands with engaging, beautiful displays to showcase their reviews, ratings, and Q&A on their site. Ultimately, user-generated content builds shopper trust, reduces friction from the buying process, and increases conversion rates. And we'll dive into all of that in our upcoming 10 minutes together. I'll be sharing some insights on how Yapo helps innovative brands create meaningful interactions with our customers by leveraging a full suite of marketing solutions such as reviews, loyalty and referrals, SMS marketing, subscriptions, and more. And that's a great segue into a quick introduction to what Yapo strives to solve for our brands before we dive in. We're here to help you navigate today's biggest challenge, connecting to consumers. Nowadays, with diminishing returns on online advertising and shifting consumer behavior, it's clear that brands need to double down on increasing customer lifetime value and do all that they can to convert that one-time purchase into a longer-term relationship. Using Yapo, brands can strengthen relationships with their customers by gaining access to an intelligent e-commerce marketing platform with seamless synergies between all of our marketing products. Ultimately, these synergies help brands effortlessly create impactful and personal customer experiences and ultimately increase ROI. if you think about it, why not use one product suite to make sure you can reach out to shoppers via SMS or email, identify and reward your loyal customers through loyalty programs, and then leverage all of those relationships for meaningful review content and even subscriptions to your product. So we'll dive into reviews specifically first. And when people think about reviews, I often find that they just think about getting those 5-star ratings. But reviews can offer so much more. Leveraging authentic, high-quality reviews from buyers who really care can help create a better customer experience and help brands improve their product. Not only do high-quality reviews help you stand out from the competition on search and social channels like Google and Facebook, but reviews also garner trust from new audiences that might not be familiar with your brand. We also see better conversion rates for products that showcase helpful, authentic reviews on retailers like Walmart. It's really key to work with a review provider that can easily help you plug in your reviews on your different sales channels so you can leverage your reviews everywhere. And reviews also drive more informed purchase decisions. We see an average of 166% conversion lift for products that showcase social proof like reviews or customer-generated media on site. As these purchases are also more informed because customers know what to expect better thanks to input from previous buyers, we see higher customer satisfaction, and it also helps minimize returns, which makes everyone much happier. Lastly, I always like to call out how review requests also boost post-purchase engagement. This sometimes seems like an afterthought, but it's actually really important because if you ask a consumer about their purchase at just the right time with helpful cues on how to write a well thought out review, that keeps your brand top of mind with the consumer after purchase and is a great cost-effective way to land them back on your site. I often like to compare this to a post-interview follow-up email. This will probably resonate with you if you've recently been interviewing for a new position somewhere. But I've always personally had great success with following up with the interviewer after we've met. Not necessarily immediately, but after a day or two, it's always great to touch base, send a kind reminder of what was hopefully a positive interaction, and sometimes even with a request for feedback. So similarly, consumers are already so distracted, but if you can reconnect to them and remind them of a meaningful experience they had with your brand, it's a really great path to a repeat purchase. So what makes a high quality review experience, and how can you collect those high quality reviews? So when someone finds a life-changing product, you'll find that they really do want to gush about it and share it with the world. You really need, as a brand, to leverage those aha moments to convert them into key insights for your product development and sourcing teams, as well as content to showcase the key digital purchase points. Generating a high quality review starts at the moment you request a review. Making sure to time the delivery request emails for your reviews so that they go out when the product has been shipped and delivered to your customer is super, super important. You should also take the opportunity to ask your customers more questions to gain more insight about your audience and your product, and even ask them to share photos of them using the product. Yotpo's research shows user-generated photos result in a 77% lift in conversion compared with professional photos. So making sure you have an easy way to collect media through your review collection channel is a definite must. Plus, if you use Yotpo, you can leverage the insight you collected in your reviews, in your loyalty programs, and in your SMS and email campaigns by creating customer segments. But we'll talk about that a little more in the next slide. Ultimately, you want to showcase the review content on site to help potential buyers and make sure to allow for easy search and filtering to help consumers find reviews that resonate with their needs. It's also really important to make sure you have a way to verify purchases and clearly mark reviews from verified buyers. This validates that reviews are collected after purchase and often does away with the worry that shoppers usually have regarding the authenticity of reviews. So if we move on to thinking about the review experience, a huge part of a quality review experience is making sure the review content loads fast on your site. At Yotpo, we use the Google Lighthouse tool a lot to measure and minimize impact on site speed. And there's this great blurb that always shows up while the tool loads from Google that asserts that 1 second delay in load time can impact conversion by up to 20% in retail. So making sure you're using a review provider that's dedicated to building review displays that load fast on site is really, really key. Another piece that adds to the authenticity of your review content is making sure that the way you choose to showcase your reviews, what we call your different review widgets, are tailored and customized to be on brand. You want this content to feel like a natural part of your site, not something that was slapped on by a third party. So making sure that you have customization capabilities with your review provider is very important as well. And lastly, similar to how you want to ask for a review at the right moment, you want to make sure that reviews are elegantly placed at the right touch points in the customer journey. That can be on your site's homepage, category, or product page, but you can also leverage customer reviews offsite. We see that reviews are actually very effective in recovering abandoned carts through SMS, emails, or in retargeting ads. So if we talk and delve into kind of that customer journey a little bit, let's look at, let's follow Monica, who discovers, let's say, a skincare brand when searching for the best face wash on Google. This is where those offsite promotions come in. Having a review solution like Yotpo, for example, that ensures your customer reviews ratings show up on Google Shopping, Google Seller Rating, Google Ads, shops on Facebook and Instagram, or any other platform that you're probably selling on, helps with the discovery process of your products and your brand. So let's say Monica sold on that skin wash and converts. Yay, she's officially a customer now. A week or two after purchase, she gets a request to write a review and is compelled to write one as she's really loving her new skincare routine. Her review triggers an SMS thanking her for her glowing review and offering a 20% discount on her next purchase. And if she joins the brand's loyalty program, she can start collecting points towards her next purchase as well. All she has to do is click on a link and voila, she's subscribed as a loyal customer. She, after a couple of weeks, notices that there was a new product launch, there was a new moisturizer on Instagram, and she's prompted to check it out after she gets an email reminder of the discount on her next purchase. She then goes to the site and she reads all of the authentic reviews on the new product and decides to make her next purchase. So this is kind of a really beautiful way of how all of the customer journey can be redesigned and rethought in order to kind of navigate the different shifts that we're seeing in consumer behavior, like the way that Monica would shop. So we just walked through a customer journey from the consumer perspective, and I thought it would be great to balance that out by looking at how Yotpo helped one of our favorite merchants, so from the merchant perspective, grow their reviews with reviews and grow their business with reviews and Q&A. So MVMT is a well-known and loved watch brand that offers stylish watches at an affordable price point. When they launched back in 2013, consumers weren't used to buying elegant timepieces online. Watches used to be considered an investment buy, and shoppers seemed kind of uneasy not being able to see it. So the brand partnered with Yotpo to collect and showcase reviews and Q&A to help boost consumer trust. Using our Q&A advanced features, they let previous buyers answer shop questions their customer base and turning them into advocates of their brand and fostering a community of trust around their products. With Yotpo, MVMT, I think within a couple of months, collected over 30,000 positive reviews and more than 1,000 Q&As. So it's amazing to see how user-generated content really supported and enabled a brand like MVMT to build their brand identity. So yeah, thanks for listening. If there are any questions, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead, Michelle, just because I want to keep on a tight schedule. Go ahead and drop your email in the chat. And thank you so much. You absolutely killed it.
Thanks.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Michelle. Awesome. So last but not least, I have my good friend Rohan from Gorgeous. I know we are about 10 minutes over, but stick with us. You're going to want to stick around for this one. And then brief introduction is Rohan is the platform partnership manager at Gorgeous and works closely with some of their top partners like Shopify and BigCommerce. Hey, Rohan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much, Carly, for that intro.
Yeah, you're a pro. Kick us off. Take us home.
Awesome. Will do. I think that's actually showing up a little small. So let me just, in classic tech fashion, share my window instead. All right, here we go. That should be full screen now. Thank you so much for that introduction. My name is Rohan. I am the Platform Partnerships Manager at Gorgeous. I do oversee our relationships with both Shopify and BigCommerce. And I'm going to talk to you today about reimagining that shopper experience for omnichannel commerce from the Gorgeous perspective. 3 lessons that you want you all to take away from today: building strong relationships with customers, simplifying that shopper's journey, and of course, creating that top-notch customer experience. But before I do, just a little bit about Gorgeous. We are the #1 rated help desk for e-commerce. We've got offices in 6
Rohan,
locations internationally.
Quickly interrupt you. Sorry, you're not sharing your screen.
Yep. I'm not. Oh, sorry.
You're good. I didn't want you just to get too far along without sharing your screen.
Is it sharing now?
Let's see. You are all good.
Okay. This is my millionth webinar. It was bound to happen once. Took you through that introduction. Don't need to show you that slide again. As I was saying, hopefully we're good now, but we are the #1 rated help desk for e-commerce. We've got offices in 6 locations, clients internationally. So we are now supporting over 10,000 e-commerce online stores, and we support 25,000 support agents on a daily basis, which is an incredible stat. Obviously looking forward to that trending up towards the back half of 2022. We work with brands all over the spectrum. So early stage e-commerce looking for a consolidation system for all of their channels that they use to communicate with customers. We also have enterprise level customers that are doing tens of thousands of tickets on a monthly basis and have 10 to 20 plus agents working the customer support side of things. So we really cater to all sorts of different brands and different verticals as well. And I would be remiss if I did not highlight the stat that we just rolled out yesterday, but we are now the #1 most installed help desk, just passing Zendesk. You can see a few other help desks trailing off in the distance there. We are built for e-commerce. That is what we do at Gorgeous. That is our niche. That is our vertical. And we are going to continue to hammer away at that. Like I said, I manage both BigCommerce and Shopify relationships, and I want to make sure that those continue to trend on accordingly. So today, I think it's important to highlight the trends in customer engagement as it relates to omni-channel commerce experience. First and foremost, something that I always like to talk about. #1, there are more channels than we've ever seen before. Gone are the days where it was just phone or just email as a way for merchants to communicate with their customers. But now we're looking at all different sorts of ways, shapes, and forms to communicate with customers. It's email, it's phone, it's chat, SMS, social media. There are a variety of different options for merchants to be able to get in front of their customers. And because of that reason, it's important that those merchants focus on how to make things as efficient as possible to ensure that seamless customer experience. #2 is turning browsers into buyers before they ever hit their website, right? So from the merchant perspective, you have shoppers that are on social media, you have shoppers potentially engaging with you through SMS. How do you create this ultimate kind of shopper experience that allows them to understand what your product and what your brand is all about, so much so that they're taking social media, they're taking the text messages that they're receiving, and they're making their way to your website to take a look at what you're looking to offer. #3, first response time and resolution time, as you'll see throughout the course of my 10-minute presentation here, are everything. You'd be surprised at the fact, at the number of brands that actually lose out on customers just because they can't get to customers in a sufficient period of time to even let them know that they've received their inquiry. It's so important to make sure that customers know that you're present, that you're actually taking a look at their request, and then taking it one step further to then resolve their request or get back to them with their issue that they have at hand. And ultimately, using the 3 points above, you want to be able to create this reimagined shopper experience that allows them to have the best experience possible with your brand, because if they do, that's going to resonate with them and that's going to keep it long term. Some of the customer challenges that they currently face today, as I mentioned, first contact time and resolution time are points 1 and 2 for the purpose of this presentation, right? Sometimes customers are waiting over 12 hours for even a response to, from the merchant letting them know that they've received their inquiry, the issue at hand, or something that they need to edit with a past order. Obviously, 12 hours is way too long. That's an incredible period of time for someone to be, say, on live chat on a website, asking a question and not getting an answer. They've got other things to do in their day. They're going to take off. They need to hop off the website in order to get to, the rest of what they had planned for that particular day. And 12 hours is an incredible amount of time for, a merchant to be able to establish that first contact time. Resolution time as well, right? So further to first contact time, resolution time, and actually getting back in a sufficient period of time with the right answer for that customer, or with a way to resolve a particular issue that they have at hand. 17 hours is way too long of a time, right? And so the reason why Gorgias exists, the reason why we work so closely with e-commerce, is to bring those stats down. And as you'll see throughout the course of this presentation, when you do bring down first contact time, when you do bring down resolution time, it does lead to higher conversion rates. It does lead to more sales for the business. And ultimately, as a result of that, it leads to a better customer and shopper experience on the other side of things. Number 2 is that lack of personalization. So we find that customers that do engage with merchants, they feel sometimes that they're just a ticket number, right? That the brand actually doesn't care to address them by name, or isn't really resonating with them directly, so much so that they're going to develop that brand loyalty. And not feeling like you're actually important to the brand is just going to cause you as a customer to then make your way to a different brand, right? Maybe a competitor, and make a purchase over there because they addressed you by name, because they got back to you in a sufficient period of time. And so that personalization piece is always super critical, and something that we always emphasize at Gorgias. And also, they feel that nobody is listening half the time, right? They have to repeat themselves 3 times, whether it's, with respect to an issue that they had with their order, whether they need to edit a shipping address or tracking information, whatever it might be. If you do have to constantly repeat yourself, and the merchant on the other side is not able to have a system in place that houses all of this information right in front of them, then it is going to cause problems for that merchant shopper relationship, and it's going to cause that shopper to potentially go elsewhere. And merchants do pay the price as a result of this. So, first and foremost, as I mentioned, with the conversion rates on first response time and resolution time, is you're going to miss out on those conversions, on those missed sales opportunities, just by letting the customer know that you're there to help them. It's going to lead to lower efficiency ratings, and it's going to lead to a decreased customer satisfaction score, which of course you always want to maintain at a reasonable level to help customers make purchases on your website and to help them come back to make more purchases in the future. And it's also going to lead to higher labor and technology costs, right? If you don't have systems in place that house a bunch of different pieces of information related to that customer, for example, you have isolated technology pieces in place that house separate pieces of information, it's going to take a lot more time for you then to get back to the customer, letting them know that you're there for them, but also, as importantly, letting them know the resolution to the issue that they're having. And the missed sales opportunities can come in different forms. Number 1 is conversions. So just in terms of getting back to that particular customer in a reasonable period of time, that return on ad spend. So harnessing social leads, potentially, you have Facebook or Instagram ad out, you're engaging with somebody on Twitter. How can you harness those leads that are engaging with your brand on those social platforms? And the average order value, right? So the likelihood for that customer to come back and place a higher average order value in the future, to continue to come back to your website and make purchases with your brand. All of these are missed sales opportunities just by not being able to address the customer by name, by getting back to them a sufficient period of time, and making sure that they're having a very smooth experience. Which brings me to this point here, that customer engagement is a very, very critical layer of the e-commerce growth tech stack. When you consider that 73% say that CX is an important factor in a customer's purchasing decisions, 90% rate an immediate response as important or very important, and 43% of consumers would pay more for greater convenience, right? We're in a time and age where there's so much competition out there that if I'm looking at 2 separate brands as a customer looking to make a purchase for a particular item, I go to brand number 1 and I feel like that brand didn't address me by name. I feel like they didn't get back to me in a reasonable period of time. I feel like I had to repeat myself a number of times for my particular issue. That's just going to cause me to go to brand number 2, which might have a similar product. It might cost me a little bit more to purchase from brand number 2, but I'm going to do that because they made me feel important. They addressed me by name. I didn't have to repeat myself. They didn't make me feel like a ticket number, and they got back to me in 2 minutes as opposed to 2 hours. And so I'm going to retain myself on that website. I'm going to take a look around at their other products, and my average order value is just going to go up with brand number 2, and I'm not even going to make a purchase with brand number 1. And so how can I reimagine the shopper experience? Well, first and foremost, the whole topic of this webinar is be omnichannel. So understand how consumers like to interact with brands. And so email is still a very big portion of how consumers like to interact with brands, right? So email is not going away, but you'll see other channels that are starting to creep up on email, right? So you see live chat, which is an important part of the gorgeous platform, which we always emphasize using as a D2C brand. You see other channels coming up too. You see SMS, you see social media. There's so many different ways for consumers to interact with your brand that it's important that you're not losing track of any one of these different channels, because if you lose track of one of these channels, if you lose track of a couple of these channels, it's going to bring down your first response time and resolution time on those particular channels. And you as a merchant are going to lose out on some of those sales opportunities. And not only that, but on the customer side of things, it's really going to cause problems in terms of how they like to interact with your brand. Because if they feel like they can't get in touch with you via one channel, the likelihood of them reaching out via another channel, probably not very high. Understand what your shoppers are asking. So there are so many different questions that come through to merchants, but you can categorize these questions in terms of, is it pre-sales? Is it something to do with shipping status? Is it something that actually doesn't require a reply? Is it an issue? Is it a refund? And just understanding what the customer is actually asking using machine learning, using intent detection, is going to help you as the merchant create that better shopper experience, because you can categorize these inquiries accordingly. You can have your CX reps on your side of things handle specific inquiries in a reasonable period of time. And it allows your team as a merchant to be efficient, so much so that the customer actually has a great experience interacting with your agents. And you want to make sure that those shoppers feel important, right? So I talked about personalization earlier, but it's important always to address the customer by name, to have their order number ready, to have their tracking information ready if they're asking about shipping. And just these small little pieces of personalization and sending an email via personalization to these consumers who are asking questions is going to make them feel important. And if you do it quickly and efficiently by setting automatic rules in the back end, for example, they're going to get that response as soon as possible with all of their personal information, including name, order number, tracking information, shipping information, or whatever their question is related to. And you can automate sometimes 15 to 25% of inquiries so that they're receiving a reply instantaneously on a question or an issue that they had at hand. And then you as the brand can focus your human efforts on more complex issues. And I know I'm getting close to time here. Couple more things. Focus on your VIPs, so you can define your VIPs. Say for example, a customer comes through and places an order that's greater than 10,000. It's important to obviously focus on that particular individual to provide them that white glove treatment, and also understand what your social browsers are saying, right? So if they're coming through on any of your ads, they're engaging with you on Twitter, for example, they're talking about something that they enjoy with your brand. Use that as a way to engage with them, right? Create that great experience for them on social media by providing them with a discount code, by showing them a product that they might like, similar to what they just commented on. And just by doing that, they're going to have a positive experience with your brand because you are showing them that you're listening, or you are showing them that you're watching their comments on their ads or on their social platform. And it just provides a greater experience for them. And lastly, before I hop off here, the bottom line is respond quickly and get back to that individual at a certain period of time and resolve their issue for them. And if you do that, you will improve your conversions. If you bring down that resolution time, you will bring up your conversion rate to ensure that you as a brand are generating more sales out of CX, and you're creating that great experience for the shopper on the other side of things. But that's it for me. I do want to pause there past the 10-minute mark, of course, for some Q&A if there is time. But if not, I will drop my email and we can get everything handled after the fact.
Yeah, Rohan, if you can just drop your email in the chat, and thank you so much. I mean, you absolutely crushed it, even with the technical difficulties.
Of course. No, I appreciate that. Sorry for the screen share.
Oh, it happens to the best of us. But thank you again so much. And thank you everyone for staying with us. And if you have any questions for these amazing speakers, we will be sending out a recording of all of their presentations. And stay tuned for the next ShipBob hosted webinar. Thank you, everyone.